Okay, our final family for this episode, Seeking Sister Wife Season 4, Episode 2, the Davis Family Review. The Davis family, which consists of a strong Nick, April, and Jennifer, and a potential Danielle. Danielle is who they are courting and trying to see if she will be a good match or a good fit for this family. So we start off with them where we left off in the previous episode. And in the previous episode, it ended with Danielle and Nick out on their very first one on one date. Now, Danielle has been out with Nick, April, and Jennifer before as a group, I guess several times, but she's never been on a one on one date with Nick. And this is the very first time that they're going to be connecting, just the two of them. So Danielle is incredibly nervous because she's never been on a date alone with Nick. And he just seems really excited to be going out with her alone. Now, they talk about, so he has, which I thought was a really good thing. He has a very in depth discussion with Danielle about what this family is really all about, as far as the polygamy and the do's and the don'ts, the good and the bad, the ups and the downs, kind of like letting her know what she should be expecting, that it's not all going to be roses and unicorns and butterflies. Just because we all get along now and everything is great now, you will definitely encounter some bad days. You will definitely encounter some bumps in the road. So he's just trying to prepare her for the good, the bad, the ugly, all of that. So she is definitely listening, and she said something like, well, I just don't want any issues of jealousy or resentment or anything like that. She wants everybody to get along and be happy. And Marcus tells her there is going to be jealousy. Sometimes even I feel jealous when I see my two wives getting along without me and not including me. Sometimes I feel a little bit jealous. So there will definitely be feelings of jealousy. And what you need to do when that happens is you need to talk about it. So, and I like that. As crazy as this whole situation is, he is trying to put everything into context and trying to put some type of order into all of this. And I really appreciated that, of him being that open and honest with her and not just trying to sell her a fairy tale just for him to get what he wants. He wants her to know that there is going to be some challenges in this. So, they have that conversation, and she was very touchy feely. I guess her love language is touch. She constantly was reaching for his hand, rubbing his hand, holding his hand, which I guess was a good sign that she was definitely feeling him, being attracted to him. And he was very receptive of all of that. And what killed me though was when they talked about how he suggested to her that they go back to the home, to the house, and like he's letting her know that he wants to be intimate with her. And I was so confused because I could have sworn in the previous episode, before he went out on the date with Danielle, he had said that he was not going to be intimate with her on the first date, that he usually refrains from that on the first date because he wants to get to know her better or something like that. But here we are, and he wants to go back to the house and he wants to get up close and personal with her. So April and Jennifer, they're anxiously waiting back at the house. They can't wait to hear how the date went. They're keeping their fingers crossed that everything went well because they like Danielle and they want her to be included or to be added into their family. And they want Nick to like her as well, because that's the only way that she's going to be included. Because if the man don't like her, if the man ain't feeling her, ain't nothing happening with her. So they come home, Danielle and Nick, and they tell Jennifer and April that everything went exceptionally well. They had a great time. And so the two current wives are relieved because, like I said, they really like Danielle and they understand, what's going to be happening, because Nick says that he wants to go to the room and he wants to, I think he said the words, he wanted to talk to her alone. And I guess, that let everybody know, the what's up. And so the two wives say that whenever Nick has his moments with one of his wives, the other wife will go into like the opposite side of the house or to a room very far away. So, whatever, we all get it. So, yeah, so the scene ends with him taking Danielle by the hand and leading her into the love shack, where he's gonna go back there and do what he needs to do. So yeah, but I'm just a little bit confused because I thought that he said he wasn't going to do that. But whatever, they're adults; they can do whatever the hell they want to do. I just don't understand why he has to contradict himself. Just say, look, it might happen, it might not happen, but don't start off with, well, I never on the first date, but then you end up doing it anyway. So it looks like the women all get along great. It looks like Nick likes Danielle. Danielle really likes Nick, and so she might be a permanent fixture. Now, like I said in the previous review, Nick's biggest concern with Danielle, and because of her age, she is 22, and she did mention that she never saw herself in a polygamous relationship. The way her life is going now, it's not at all what she envisioned. She envisioned herself at about this time in her life that she would be going to college and having roommates and living that college life. Not once did she think that she was going to be in a polygamous relationship, talking about having a family at this age. So Nick's biggest concern is because of her age. Does she know what she's getting into? Does she understand what she's getting into? Is she committed? Can she commit to this? Because once she says yes, he makes it look like, if you're going to say yes, you better say yes for the long haul and not yes, for the in between time, but for the long time. So, and also I'm like, well, Nick, if you really want someone who's not going to be flaking out on y'all, well, why don't you just find a woman a little bit older, a little bit more mature? A 21-year-old, a 22-year-old entering a polygamous relationship in a society where polygamy is not that common. That's a lot. That is a whole hell of a lot. Um, I think an older woman who makes a decision to be in a polygamous relationship really wants to be in a polygamous relationship, because she's been around the block a couple of times, she's done the traditional or whatever, and now she wants to try something different. Unlike a 21-year-old who hasn't been in a regular relationship, serious, like a regular marriage, a traditional marriage. Now she's going to enter into a plural marriage with these other women. It's just like, wow, that's a lot. Just why don't you just pick someone who's either used to the lifestyle, who grew up in the lifestyle, who understands the lifestyle, and they're young, if you really want a young woman, or just try being with a woman a little bit older. But these men, they pick their first wives when they're young. So both him and his first wife, and I'm talking in generalities, not necessarily about Nick. Their first wife they pick when they're both young. They're both in their 20s. They get old together. They get older together. Now they're in their 30s and 40s, and he wants to take on another wife, but he wants to take on a very young wife. Or maybe they take on young wives because of the potential of having children. Maybe that's why they're taking on very young wives, because they want to have a lot of children. Maybe that's what it is. I forgot about that because no one really talks about kids like that in this season so far, episode 2 up until now. No one really has a lot of children, and no one is really talking about, having a lot of children, or it's not really discussed a lot. So I forget that maybe the reason why they go for the younger women is because they do want to have more children. Yeah. So, Nick is like, kind of like Nick has a way with words. Nick definitely has a way with words. He's definitely an intellect. Um, yeah, I can see why women are drawn to Nick. I can kind of see why they're drawn to him. Um, yeah, we'll see how it works out. So that is my review. Seeking Sister Wife, the Davis Family Edition. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video if you like this content. Please subscribe if you don't like this content. Don't worry about it. But thank you so much for stopping by anyway. And I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.